All right, this video is going to go over greatest integer function and how to evaluate it. Basically, okay, first of all, greatest integer function is really difficult to explain in a way that does not confuse you. But here's the way that I do it. First of all, you'll see like the brackets around a number or like around the letter x. That's your cue that it's a greatest integer function. And when that happens, you're going to have to be able to evaluate these. So like the greatest integer of 2.1, if you think about a number line, 2.1 is right here. So you're looking for the greatest integer, so basically whole numbers, but negatives as well, the greatest integer up until that point. And the way that I like to think about this is I imagine I'm moving left to right along this number line. So like I'm going this way. The greatest integer up until that point would be here at 2. So the greatest integer of 2.1 would be equal to 2. All right, now they're going to try to trick you. They're going to try to give you like greatest integer of 5. Well, here's 5. If I'm moving left to right along this line, the greatest integer up until then would be 5. You wouldn't have to drop back down to 4. 5 is included. So greatest integer of 5 is 5. Now imagine it said the greatest integer of, imagine it said 4.9 here. So it would be like here. The greatest integer up until that point would be 4 then. It would not be 5. But that's just a hypothetical situation. All right, so let's just go back. The greatest integer of 5 is 5. All right, now the greatest integer of 0.33, that's like a third, that's right here. If I'm moving left to right along a number line, the greatest integer up until that point would be 0. So my answer for that one would be 0. And then sometimes they'll give you negatives. That's not that big of a deal. Here's negative 3.1, like right here. If you're moving left to right along this number line, the greatest integer up until that point would be negative 4. All right, so here's a little tip. Basically, if you see greatest integer of a number, just go down every single time. Like notice at 2.1, I went down to 2. If it's of an integer already, like 5, just write that number, 5. And if it's, notice like 0.33, I went down to 0. Even on negative numbers, you still go down. So like negative 3.1, I went down to negative 4. So that's how I do greatest integer.